Oh, it's so nice that you all could come to tea and some biscuits. It's really great. After Christmas it was quite a stress. What did you all get for Christmas? Look, I got a doll. I'm so happy with it.
I got a doll too. Look, I got Kaya. I'm really happy.
Oh, she is really beautiful.
I really love her.
I can imagine. Wow. And what did you get, Felicity?
Well, I've got an olive tree.
An olive tree?
Yes, an olive tree. What should you do with an olive tree? I know better presents. An olive tree? What should you do with that?
Well, I think it's quite a lovely present. It's something different than a doll. But yes, it's not so easy. An olive tree. Where do you put it?
Well, it's in Greek.
Oh, hi, Caitlin. Hi, all together. I just heard... I'm sorry first that I'm late, but while I came in, I heard that Felicity got an olive tree. I think that's really, really lovely present. But maybe you all sit down and listen to my story. And the girls made it really cozy to listen to the story. Caitlin was getting ready to tell the story, and here it is. The day I was 7, my grandfather gave me an olive tree. "Happy birthday, Caitlin," he said. "Where's the tree?" my brother Gorgeous said. "It's in Greece, on the island," grandfather said. All we know about Greece and the island where my grandparents lived before they came to California, the island where my mother was born. When we left the island, we sold everything, my grandfather explained. But the new owners let us keep the tree. It was a symbol. "What does that mean?" Georgios asked. "The olive tree was something of ours that was rooted in Greek earth," grandfather said. "It's in the field behind the house that was ours. Now, Caitlin, I give it to you." Grandfather kissed me and gave me a smile, but I didn't really understand. "Your grandmother used to climb into that tree and pick olives and let them fall into a net below," grandfather said. "She was a wonderful picker." Mama gave him a hug. "She had to be. She picked you." Grandfather nodded. He took grandmother's string of beads from his pocket and let them tickle through the fingers. Grandfather carried them always since the time she died. "Thank you for the tree, grandfather," I said. Caitlin really wanted a skateboard, Georgios told him. "Be quiet, Georgios," Papa warned. I had wanted a skateboard, and I didn't want an olive tree. What would I do with it? My grandfather died about a year after he gave me the tree. We were all with him around the bed. Mama had brought him grandmother's beads to hold, and he crumpled them up and gave them to me. At first but grandfather said, "Caitlin, will you go to the island and hang these into the olive tree for me, for grandmother and me? I have asked your mother if she will take you, and she agreed." I was all puddled off and sniffly. I nodded, but I wasn't sure how Mama and I could do this. Later, Mama told me how grandfather had been saving and saving. "The money is so we can go to Greece, Caitlin," she said. Mama and I took a plane to Athens. and then a cab to the docks. Everything looked different. It was strange to think we had come so far from home. Mama got quieter and quieter. Sometimes she read aloud the names written in Greek above the shops as if she liked the sound of them in her mouth. The woman who sold tickets to ride the ferry spoke some English. "There's only one boat a day," she told us. "It is just a small island." "I know," Mama said. The woman eyed Mama's suitcase and my backpack. "You will be staying at the house and board of Alexandra Gramos?" "Yes," said Mom. "For 2 nights only. It has all been arranged." We sat on a wooden bench to wait. People bustled around and talked in Greek. Some of them carried baskets almost as big as themselves. Ferry boats came and left. Not ours. A sponge seller, his sponges stacked around him like a great lumps of honeycomb, called out his prices. I wanted to get one for me and Georgios, but Mama said no. Maybe on the way back. I fell asleep. Mama shook me awake when the ferry came. As soon as I opened my eyes, I thought, I am in Greece. But it didn't seem real. There was a priest on the ferry with us. He had a long black robe and his hair was pinned up in a bun under his head. There was also a woman with a flock of sheep. They baaed and bleated. To me they seemed to be speaking American sheep talk, not Greek. The woman let me pet them. "There's good grazing on the island," Mama said. But even as she spoke, she leaned across the side of the boat, not looking at me or the priest or the sheep woman or the sheep. I held on to the back of her jacket. She seemed to be reaching across the sea. It was as if she was ready to fly. "There it is," she whispered. Her fingers shook as she pointed, and I saw a misty hump sticking out of the water. The priest smiled and said something in Greek, and after a minute Mama smiled at him and nodded. What did he say? I think he asked if we are going home. "But we are not," I said. Before we got to the dock we would hear music, like a guitar, and as we edged into the mooring we saw a man with a droopy mustache sitting on a box. "That's a bouzouki he's playing," my Mama said. The priest waved us ahead of him, and then we all had to jump quickly to the side as the sheep came stampeding down the little gangplank. "We'll go to the olive tree first," Mama said. "But we have to carry the suitcase and my backpack." The backpack had been getting heavier and heavier ever since we left home. "The tree is not far," Mama said. Nothing is far on the island. We walked past houses, whitewashed, sleeping in the sun. Sometimes my mother stopped and put the suitcase down, and I thought she was resting, but I could see she was looking at things and probably remembering. A woman carrying a bucket came out of a house. She called out to us in Greek. "What did she say?" I asked. It sounded like, "Have a nice day," Mama smiled. The road narrowed. Rock roses climbed the hedges. "Look at the sky," Mama said. "It's blue light." I was feeling something strange. When Mama said this, I felt that my chest hurt and I began to cry. "It's all right," Mama drew a shaky, noisy breath. "There's the house we lived in, Caitlin, and there is the field." We walked across the field, the suitcase between us bumping our legs, the straps of the backpack cutting into my neck. The 2 goats cropped the grass. A bigger one drank from a rusty bathtub. Another one looked as if it might run at us, and I got behind Mama, but the goats didn't move. "There's your tree," Mama said.